Mic check, mic check. Is everything good? Can everyone hear my voice okay? I just want to be sure. Because my system almost tried to make it so that my microphone wasn't even working at all. But everything is working right now. I'll deal with my Stream Deck later. Right now, we have far more important things to talk about. Let me just mute the playback here. And everything appears to be in order. So, yo peoples, Cute92 here. And welcome back to yet another solo leveling reaction and review. Welcome everyone. It's time to see what happens after last week's chapter where the Monarch of Destruction showed up, wiped out the entire Canadian hunter team that was there at the gate there, and he's released his entire army and is causing havoc all over Canada now. So let's go ahead and get started with the chapter, because the last chapter ended with the Monarch of Destruction staring down Adam White, who was about to be pulled and teleported by one of Jin's orc shadows. And the last thing we see from the Monarch of Destruction and White is the Monarch saying, "And where do you think you're going, Shadow?" And then it's just a flash of light as Adam White just says, "Hunter Sung, I..." And then it's a flash. Chapter 170! And we see heat coming out of the mouth of the Monarch of Destruction. He opens his mouth and sends a blast towards both the orc, Shadow, and White. And I guess that's the end of the orc as well, because it zooms in. I'm pretty sure Jin turns his head away from his phone because he was on the phone with White at the time. But it shows the Monarch gathering up a fire blast in his mouth. So he's the one who did all this. He's not his dragons. He's the one who burned everything to a crisp on his own. But it shows the blast shooting out from his mouth towards the orc, and then it zooms in on the orc's eye as the blast envelops both him and White, apparently. And then Jin just looks away as this zing goes through his head, signifying that he lost one of his shadows. And Jin thinks, "Darn it, I should have expected this. Since they know they're up against my shadow army, which becomes stronger the longer the fight lasts, my opponent would minimize the number of battles by focusing their entire forces in a single location. They opened 8 gates as if they would follow their original plan, but then they sent their entire army to the furthest gate away from me." And he's looking up at the gate that's over Shanghai, and that's cracked open as well, but there's nothing coming out of there. "It's my terrible mistake. Even if I were to move over there immediately, I would end up in an all-out war. My plan to buy time went down the drain." And then Liu Zhigong says, "Hunter Sung Jin Woo." And then his one of his subordinates is there, says, "Hunters, Canada is..." I guess he's finding out about all the hunters in Canada. Can I really do nothing about this? And then, yep, Stream Deck still isn't working. Then it cuts to the Monarch, who also has extremely long fingernails, says, "The sound of a living person's heartbeat, the sound of their screams, and the sound of the destruction of creatures." And as he's saying this, he's doing this in a grandiose motion as countless dragons are filling the sky right now. But let me read this whole line because he has more to say. "The sound of a living person's heartbeat, The sound of their screams and the sound of the destruction of creatures are resonating like music in my ears. He's just like Dracula from Bram Stoker, you know, the great Gary Oldman one, where he was saying like, "Oh, the children of the night, what sweet music they make." That's exactly what he's saying here, only for dragons. Yes, we're done with preparations. Destroy everything. And, okay, destroy everything, for that is our sole mission of our existence. And as he says this, we see two other monarchs with him. The blonde-haired guy that was there at the time of Christopher Reed's death, and then the other guy that's clad in armor that we didn't really see much of, but he was there telling of the events to this monarch of destruction beforehand. And when he says destroy everything, all of the dragons in the air just start setting fire to everything. Think of Drogon from Game of Thrones, but there's hundreds of him, and he's just laying waste to everything. That's essentially what's happening right now. Also, if people are saying hi to me, sorry, I'm not looking at chat until this chapter is over, because to avoid any potential spoilers that may happen. And just like King's Landing, everything is just being set on fire. Just being destroyed all over. And people are looking at this on their screens. And who's this sitting in a chair watching all this happen? Someone. Is this the U.S. Chairman of the Hunters Association in the U.S.? Because there's a bunch of Jack Daniels. Like a whole lot of Jack Daniels over on his desk. And he says, they must have all died. The hunters, agents, and reporters on the scene. Hundreds of dragons, along with oceans of giants, beasts, and insects behind them. This disaster cannot be contained by humans. They're all dead. It's over. Why am I hearing my voice echo? What in the world? That's why I'm hearing my voice echo. My voice changer decided to make it so I could hear my voice. I was wondering why I was hearing like a slight echo. I normally don't hear it in my room. Hold on, let me turn that off. Because I can't use my Stream Deck at the moment to... Oh no, I gotta actually fix my Stream Deck. I need that to actually work just in case Bellion shows up. So hold on, let me unplug my Stream Deck. And then plug it back in, and let me see if that changes. But I don't need to hear myself talking again. Nope, it's not working. Okay, it's fine. I got my backups here, so I could just switch to it just in case I need to. But the U.S. chairman is saying, they're all dead. It's all over. It's only a matter of time before they arrive in the U.S. Now I understand why Hunter Sung advised everyone to stay as far away from the gates as possible. This world is done for. That's right. It's all over. And then a shadow appears appears in his office. And it's Jin! Hunter Sung. I'm paying you a sudden visit because I'm looking for something. Rune stones. Please hand over the rune stones left behind by Kamish. And then this surprises the U.S. chairman, as he says, as you may already know, Kamish's runestones are managed by the Hunters Bureau. What am I even saying? Why does the Hunters Bureau even matter anymore? Those runestones mean nothing if the entire U.S. is about to be destroyed. Sorry, I had to swallow and burp at the same time. That line came out weird. Those rune stones mean nothing if the entire U.S. is about to be destroyed, let alone the Hunters Bureau. Excuse me. I think I'm still drunk. I can hand over the rune stones, but why do you need them? I'm going to use them to launch a counterattack. Didn't you say that beings called rulers sent those demonic beasts here? And as they're saying this, they're going right back down to the underground bunker where Kamish is right now. Then what are these rune stones that are inside the demonic beasts' bodies? And then Jin says, these are just gifts from the rulers to help humans hunt down demonic beasts more efficiently. What the rulers want is for there to be intense battles between the humans and the demonic beasts, which would cause mana to take root here. The sacrifice of humans is just a side effect rather than their ultimate goal. When a demonic beast dies, and then we have some narration here. When a demonic beast dies, their abilities are sealed in these rune stones. Rulers created rune stones to help humans hunt beasts. Can you really stop them with these? I'll have to try. And could I ask for one more favor? And then it cuts towards this fancy-looking castle-like mansion. Lady Selner!
I never thought someone could come looking for me at a time like this.
And apparently he woke her up because she's still in her slippers in bed and her nightgown.
You are not the person I know. Before, darkness existed deep inside you, but now you are darkness itself.
I am the same person you knew, madam, but I simply became one with the darkness you saw back then. You said you could see the future, and his eyes glow when he says this. And Lady Selner, her eyes widen as he continues saying, then could I ask for you to look into my future? And she doesn't say anything, and she closes her eyes. She takes his hand and says,
I understand.
And as it shows her eyes close, it shows a chandelier hanging off of the roof. And then she says,
You really?
As a tear comes down her cheek. And as she's still holding Jin's hand. Hey there, buddy. Where the rest of... Okay, I was about to say, where's the rest of the panels? It was a blank page all of a sudden. But she's still holding his hand. And she says,
You really plan to take everything on by yourself?
And Jin is just looking at her with like a little smile on his face. And she says,
How? How could a single human carry this much by themselves? Are you planning on protecting everything by sacrificing yourself?
So thankfully, that means I can get there at least.
What do you mean, thankfully? No one will be able to remember. It'll be a lonely fight by yourself.
Please excuse me for the sudden visit and the request. And it shows Jin preparing to shadow exchange out. Well, just full-on teleport out of her house.
Hunter Sung!
And he teleports to a nearby tower. Well, he teleports to another tower. Not a nearby tower. He just teleports into a city on top of a tower and just overlooks the city as a sun rises or sun sets. I can't tell. It's like a glass half empty, half full type situation with this type of panel. I can't tell if the sun is setting or if it's rising. Then he gets on his phone. And he says, it's me. And then someone says, Jinwoo? Are you really Jinwoo? Yes, I'm sorry. I've been busy lately. Oh, it's Cha Hae-in!
Jinwoo? Are you really Jinwoo?
Yes, I'm sorry. I've been busy lately.
It's okay. I've also been very busy.
Yeah, we haven't seen each other for so long since we've been so busy. We'll meet again soon.
Yes, let's do that.
And then...
Let's do that, Jinwoo.
And then he just says, yes. And then she says,
Can you promise me that you'll come to see me?
And then Jin says, yes, I promise to go see you. And then she just holds the phone close to her with a slight smile on her face. And then we got Choi Jong-in coming in saying, we should get going now. And then she, startled from the fact that she was reveling in this moment, she was all like,
he talked to me.
And then she gets interrupted by Choi Jong-in. Is all like,
yes!
Then we see all these different hunters. We see Bayek. We see all these different top level hunters here. We got Liu Zhigong. We got the old... Oh, we haven't seen the... Yo, we have Ryuji Goto's old team. We haven't seen the Japan team in a hot minute. Yo, it's been so long. The 3 surviving ones, that is. And they're there along with them. Then we get what appears to be Leonard Newman. Oh, I hope he actually gets to fight and not get interrupted by Andre again. Then we have Andre. Everyone is there. Yo, this is like the Avenger Portal moment. Everybody and their mama showing up. The Asian Hunter Alliance, the Europe Hunter Alliance, the African Temporary Guild Union, and the Chinese Emergency Response Alliance. And they're all here as Cha Hae-in prepares to get inside of a cargo plane. Hundreds of thousands of hunters are on their way to battle. And as this narration is done, it shows the Monarch of Destruction walking over the charred, defeated, and mutilated corpses of everyone that tried to face him in Canada. He wiped out Canada. The Monarch of Destruction wiped out Canada. And he says, "I'm right here." And he looks up. And then a massive wave of energy. I guess he sends out a massive wave of energy. Bit my tongue. I'm going to assume he sent it out to signal to Jin exactly where he is. But it zooms out from the Monarch of Destruction. And it shows the entire world. And then it zooms in on Jin. And then the Monarch of Destruction says, "I've already taken the lives of tens of millions of your kind. How much longer are you planning on hiding for?" And then Jin just looks on and says, "I'll go meet you soon." And that's the end of the chapter. Some of these memes in these comment sections are really good. Well, ladies and gentlemen, final battle's about to start. The final battle is about to start, ladies and gentlemen. The final battle, well, the arc itself has already started, but since every major person, every major hunter we've ever come across, that's still alive, mind you, is now preparing to go to war. While the Monarch of Destruction decides to, not let Jin find him and try and search for him. He goes out of his way to just output energy, output power, so that Jin can actually sense him. Just saying, like, "I'm right here." He's literally daring Jin to find him. Not find him, but he's literally daring Jin to come to where he is. "I'm right here. I've already killed tens of millions of your kind. How much longer are you going to make me wait for?" He's standing over the countless bodies that he's standing over the countless bodies that he just destroyed, both himself and all these dragons that he has around here. Oh my goodness, what a chapter. Not only that, but it pretty much confirms that Adam White didn't survive, and neither did one of his high orcs that he had, as the Monarch himself saw to their deaths. He just, I'm a fire in my laser, and just killed them. But this was a great chapter. Then Jin goes to see Lady Selner. He goes to get the rune stones of Kamish to try and launch in the hopes of wanting to do a counterattack. He talks to Cha Hae-in, so many different hunters, the African Temporary Alliance, the Asian Hunter Alliance, the Europe Hunter Alliance, Chinese Emergency Response Alliance, and a whole bunch of different U.S. hunters, including Thomas Andre and his squad. And then we have the resurgence of Ryuji Goto's team, who we haven't seen since they were talking about the events of Jeju Island. and then we haven't really heard anything from them since then. The fact that they showed up after all this time, I can't even remember how many chapters it's been since we've seen Ryuji Goto's team. But everybody and their mama have showed up for this final battle. Leonard Nierman's there, Ryuji's team, Liu Zhigong, Bayek, and all these other crew. His other crew, Cha Hae-in, Choi Jong-in, Thomas Andre, every major player that we've seen that is still alive in Solo Leveling in the Hunters Association have all shown up, fully decked out in full armor. Like, even Cha Hae-in is decked out as well. She's got the headpiece going on. She's got the three-tailed coat tails on the back of her armor and everything. Everyone is dressed to the nine for this final battle. All I know is I am looking forward to the next chapter. But there are some death flags, though. The fact that Jin decided to go to Lady Selner and ask her to look into his future, and we don't even get any of the specifics of it. Yeah, there are some major death flags, of who I don't know. And I don't care to know until the chapters actually show it to me. So if you thinking about trying to let me know, like, hey, don't get too attached to this person, save your breath, because I don't want to hear it. So I'm looking forward to the next chapter. I'm not going to keep you guys here long with this chapter, because I don't have as much to say about this chapter as I did with the last one. The last one was really major, but this one is like what Danny said, the calm before the storm. Sure, we got some destruction here and there with the endless supply of not only dragons, but there's giants, there's beasts, and there's insects as well. So picture Jeju Island, picture all the beasts that followed the Beast Monarch, and all these endless supply of dragons that are out there, and they're all just flooding into the human world right now, just destroying everything. The monarch of destruction himself said that destroy everything. That's the sole purpose of our existence. And they just start laying waste to everything. Good chapter. I enjoyed it. It wasn't entirely massively monumental, but that's okay, because we need these setup chapters before we get the big payoff chapters, like I'm hoping the next chapter will be. But we'll just have to see. Overall, I enjoyed this chapter. And despite me coughing just a little bit, I hope it didn't really ruin your experience. I don't know why I'm looking into my PlayStation Eye here that's directly next to my webcam, because I have it set up here for whenever I do green screen stuff. But other than that, I really do hope you all enjoyed this reading of Solo Leveling today. My apologies if it's a little bit later than normal due to me being distracted by game stuff. And I didn't refresh the page when I needed to, so apologies for that. Apologies on my part, that's my fault. I'll be more diligent about that for you guys next time. But I did enjoy this chapter. It's a quiet chapter before the storm chapter. Just like Danny said, I'm reiterating. So I'm looking forward to the next one. At the end of the day, we are slowly but surely reaching the end of Solo Leveling. Because we're already in chapter 170 right now. It's going to feel kind of empty once I'm done with this series. Now, mind you, I'm going to start the beginning after the end. A little later after I'm done with Solo Leveling. But I'm just... We're on the final stretch of this story, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to take some getting used to not preparing a Solo Leveling stream for you guys on Wednesdays once this story is over. I don't want to think about that right now. I want to enjoy these chapters as a release. I don't want to think about when stuff will end. I don't want to think about that at the moment. But nonetheless, I've enjoyed this series thus far. I've enjoyed voicing these characters and giving them unique tones and everything, and making it sound as audiobook-like as possible. All I can say is, hope you all enjoyed. Can't wait to see you all in my next video. And if you're new to the channel and you enjoyed what you saw here today, well, consider liking and subscribing, because liking helps that YouTube algorithm get my stuff noticed a little bit more so I can entertain more people, and because I am always looking forward to entertaining you. So have a fantastic day. And once again, as always, later, peoples. I love my job so much.